Imagine being called a know-it-all your whole life just to figure out that you're claircognizant.
You ever know something like no proof, no evidence, no receipts, but just deep down you just knew? You couldn't rationalize it. You just felt it in your chest. It's not overthinking. It's not being paranoid. It's claircognizance, the power of divine knowing. Some people call it intuition. Some say it's discernment. But whatever you call it, it's that unshakable truth that lives inside of you. That quiet voice that says, don't go there. It's the thought that pops into your head out of nowhere saying, check on your friend. It's the feeling of peace that shows up before your miracle does. And let me tell you something. When you finally stop ignoring that voice, you stop asking for validation from people who don't even hear what you hear, okay? You stop needing closure because you already know the truth. You start walking into rooms with confidence because your spirit whispered, this is where you belong. And that's when you realize, when you know, you just know. Hey Rych Babes, it's Robyn Milan and welcome back to the channel where we do it the rich way, girl. We think rich, get rich, and stay rich. Now let's get right into this video. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share as we're trying to grow our channel. Alright loves, I'll see you at the end of this video.
I have the gift of claircognizance. This is for you. So in the beginning when I was developing this gift, I realized that I knew things without understanding why I knew them. About people, about situations, about events, about things that were going to happen. I just knew. You didn't have to tell me, I just knew. Then as I developed this gift a little bit further, I could feel the downloads coming through. I could literally feel things entering my brain, and then it was like, boop, there it is. It was like an epiphany, an aha moment. Here's what you need to know without any logical reasoning behind it. Before I would question and doubt a lot, but I don't do that anymore because your girl be knowing. Like for example, this past weekend, I took my kids bowling. We were part of a birthday party and I knew that we needed to step back. Like I just knew it. I didn't feel it. I just knew. Immediately after stepping back from our party, the kid that was standing in front of us dropped his bowling ball right where my daughter was standing. If I would not have followed my intuition, that bowling ball would have landed on her feet. How did I know that? I don't know. I just knew. I knew something was about to happen and I felt like I needed to pull her back from danger. Now, I didn't feel this information. I didn't hear this information. I just knew and followed my instincts. And here's how you can test your gifts. With the holidays coming up, you know, you're gonna be around a whole bunch of people, friends, coworkers. And you know, when you're in that tight group setting, your gifts start coming online a little bit more, especially if you don't have boundaries with them yet. And you're just like knowing things and things are just dropping in your head. You're knowing bits and pieces of information about people's lives. Test that. Start asking questions, not intrusive, like don't be all up in their business, but just like kind of tiptoe around it and start validating the information that you are already knowing. That way you can build trust within yourself and with the universe and everything that's coming for you.
But I had this weird like premonition that I was gonna play Daisy in this show. It was just like, I don't know, I have these kind of things sometimes. And
do they often come true?
Yeah.
Does it feel like deja vu when it happens? You realize, oh, I had a premonition about this?
It's kind of like I know certain things are going to happen. Like when I met my husband, came out of the gas station on like our second date, and I thought I'm going to marry him and have kids with him. And I just knew.
This is claircognizance, also known as clear knowing. She's referring to it as a premonition, which is a little bit different, but based on the way she's describing it, I'm pretty sure it's claircognizance, which is the hardest psychic gift to describe because you just know. There's no way to even begin to describe it. It's just the knowledge is there and it doesn't make sense for it to be there. And whenever I talk about claircognizance, people are always in the comments are like, no, that's pattern recognition. Actually, that's a trauma response. Actually, it's this. Actually, it's that. It's like, if you've never experienced it, of course it won't make sense to you. One time it happened for me. I entered this contest that hundreds of thousands of people entered. And the second I entered it, I go, I'm winning that. I just knew. And then I won. Right?
I would like to argue that being claircognizant is one of the most wild clair abilities because you really just know things out of nowhere with no source and just have to trust that it's right. And if you don't, time will prove to you that you were right. I have gone through the motion of gaslighting my spiritual abilities and saying, you know what, maybe you're just making things up in your head. Maybe this is your subconscious. Maybe you're projecting. And every single time, whether it's just randomly knowing that my boyfriend just cheated on me or my friend not liking my Instagram post because they feel jealous or a specific type of way, every time I've ignored those things, time has proved to me that exactly what I had downloaded was just true. And of course, I look like the crazy one because I don't have a source. I don't have facts. But, you know, the more I've sat back to let time prove itself, the evidence has always come forward, but I've learned to just blindly trust whatever is downloaded into my brain, because claircognizance is literally just knowing with no source and trusting that you are the source and connected to source, which is why you just know.
Y'all know what we need? We need a support group for the people who move based on your knowing without evidence. And move meaning like you can move literally physically. You have a strong urge. You know your intuition is telling you to move somewhere, to be somewhere else. And you don't have no evidence as to why. You just got to go do it because that's what your spirit's telling you to do. Or when you are being told to make a certain lifestyle change. And it's not necessarily like, oh, it's for my health. It's just like your spirit is telling you this needs to happen. But you have no reason as to why that this needs to happen. Like you've been told. When it comes to relationships, this is the one that really get me. Because I done picked up a move many times because I'm like, I trust myself, whatever. When it comes to relationships and you're being told to sever the tie, but you have no evidence as to why, like, oh, this person hasn't done anything. Like they haven't been, they haven't did nothing to me, but you're being told it's a no. This could come in the form of dreams. It could come when you do readings, and you're just like, well, why? There needs to be a support group for us because I feel like the gaslighting that happens is so real. And I've personally have had experiences of feeling crazy, like feeling like I'm tripping because I know that I'm being told to do this, but I don't know why I'm being told to do this. It doesn't feel like I should be doing it. Like there's no logical explanation as a person who like typically likes to have evidence for why I'm doing something. It's difficult to be like, oh, okay. Even in like, I feel like I've been practicing this awareness of living with like trusting without evidence. I would say for about 5 years. It don't get no easier. It don't get no easier whenever I receive the urge. One thing I will say though, is that listening to the urge sooner rather than later does save me a lot of heartache. I just feel like sometimes navigating what to do, like acting on the urge as soon as I feel it, that's the struggle I have. Because I'm like, is this like, I'm supposed to do this right now? Like, am I supposed to wait? Now, I know that also happens with like your own personal relationship with God, the divine, those spirits, your ancestors, your guides, consulting them. Always a good go-to. I'm just saying, as a human being, it is difficult. And I want to know who out there also deals with this. And like, how do you recover? How do you reconcile with, you may never know why? Because sometimes when I've been told to do things, or told to just move, I find out later why. I find out and I'm like, oh, great. There are other times where it's like, I still ain't found out. And I'm just like, okay, I don't need to know. And that's fine. But it's still harder to reconcile with because it's always easy to be like, well, this happened, so that's why I did that. But I don't always have a this plus this led me to this. So what do y'all do? What do you all be doing besides talking to God, to your therapist, to all the people,
Why was I not shocked when I found out my ex-husband got somebody else pregnant while we were together? Because my family has gifts. My mom, my grandma, and my cousin, whatever they dream, that's what happened. My cousin told me, I think a year before or months before, that she dreamt that he was in the bed with a woman and the lady was pregnant. She was telling him to tell me, and he was saying he's not going to tell me because I'm never home. Why I'm never home? Because I'm always working. I kept dreaming him pushing a stroller or just different pregnancy dreams with him in it and him being the dad for a whole year straight. So when I found out that he got somebody pregnant, I was not shocked because I knew it was coming. You guys have to be careful when you dating people that are spiritual or they're gifted. You can't really hide stuff from people who are naturally gifted. They don't need to go to a tarot card reader or none of that. The things just come to them, or they just know, like clairvoyant or dreamers or people who are claircognitive, they know everything, or whatever they know comes true. You just have to be careful. You can't be deceiving people out here. They always know.
Rych Babes, let's be real. You always knew you had this gift, but you just keep doubting it. Because the world teaches us to trust logic over intuition. It tells us to be realistic when reality has never been where miracles happen. But the truth is, the inner knowing is your divine GPS. It's not about predicting the future. It's about feeling alignment before your mind can catch up. You'll know something's off even when someone else says it's fine. You'll feel peace about a decision that looks risky to everyone else. And that's how you know, and that you have tapped in. Claircognizance is the moment when your soul already wrote the answer before your brain had time to think. It's why you can sense when someone's energy changes without a word being said. It's why your stomach tightens when something isn't right. And it's why you suddenly feel calm right before something beautiful happens. The problem is, too many of us gaslight ourselves, our own intuition. We say, maybe I'm tripping, or maybe I'm overreacting, when in reality, your spirit already knew it was coming. When you start honoring your knowing, life gets easier. You stop forcing what doesn't fit. You stop waiting for people to prove what you already had sensed, okay? You stop begging for signs because you are the sign. You don't need to explain why you moved, why you left, or why you switched directions. You just knew. And that's enough. Because when you know, you just know. And when you honor that knowing, it leads you straight to peace, abundance, and alignment. Some people will call it luck. Some people will say that you've changed, but you'll know it was just you finally trusting that voice that's been right all along. You'll notice your blessings start moving faster, your opportunities start meeting you halfway, and the same people who once made you doubt yourself will look at your glow up like it happened overnight, not realizing it started the moment you started to trust your inner knowing. So, Rych Babe, stop questioning what you already know. Stop asking the world to validate what your spirit has already confirmed. The calm certainty inside of you, that is power. You are claircognizant, deeply guided, deeply led, and always on time. Because when you know, you just know. And knowing is your superpower, okay? If you are serious, Rych Babes, about learning AI, building digital freedom, and creating the kind of life that feels as good as it looks, there's a private community coming November the 1st. I can't wait. And only a few Rych Babes will get in early. Okay, so inside we're going to be mastering mindset, money, and modern tools like AI, self psychology, and so much more. All while building that soft life that's going to pay us. So if you've been feeling that pull, that intuition, that nudge, okay, that says it's your time to level up, trust it. Join my email list right now at richmilanco.com. The link is down in the description box below. And I'll see you at the top because the bottom is too crowded. Until next time, Rych Babes, stay rich. Love you.